Labdien, cienījamie klātesošie! Sākam Latvijas ārlietu ministra Edgara Rinkēviča un Zviedrijas ārlietu ministra Karla Bilta preses konferenci. Vārds Rinkēviča kungam.
Labdien! Es gribētu teikt, ka man šodien bija ļoti labas un produktīvas sarunas ar ļoti labu un ļoti senu Latvijas draugu, Zviedrijas ārlietu ministru Karlu Bilta kungu. Mēs pārunājām faktiski visas iespējamās un pat jāsaka neiespējamās tēmas, sākot ar divpusējām attiecībām. Es gribu īpaši atzīmēt, ka tieši šogad mēs svinam 20 gadus kopš mūsu diplomātisko attiecību atjaunošanas. Mums bija iespēja arī šeit pat vestibilā nedaudz apskatīt izstādi, kas ir veltīta šiem notikumiem, kas liekas jau nemaz vairs nav bijuši tik tālu, bet izrādās jau tomēr 20 gadi ir pagājuši. Konstatējām, ka mūsu divpusējās politiskās, ekonomikas, kultūras attiecības ir izcils. Pārunājām arī jautājumus, kas, protams, skar Eiropas Savienības lietas, sākot ar pašreizējo situāciju Eirozonā. Esam viensprātis, ka tām valstīm, kas šobrīd atrodas varbūt ārpus Eirozonas, bet kuras ir cieši ieinteresētas, lai jautājumi un problēmas, kas ir Eirozonā, tiktu tomēr maksimāli liederīgi atrisinātas. Tātad šīm valstīm ir noteikti interese tajā, lai ekonomiskā situācija attīstītos, bet lai arī Eirozonas valstis, pieņemot lēmumus, kas skar ne tikai tās, bet skar arī mūs kā tirzniecības partners un arī Latviju kā valsti, kuras valūta ir tomēr saistīta ar eiro, lai tomēr tiktu ņemti vērā arī tās bažas un tās lietas, kas mūs interesē. Runājām neapšaubām par kopējo enerģētikas, transporta politiku un tīkla attīstību, runājām par nākamo budžeta ietvaru, runājām par lauksaimniecības politiku, tātad faktiski visus jautājumus, kas skar šobrīd Eiropas integrācija visā tās plašumā. Tāpat, protams, arī pārunājām Eiropas Savienības paplašināšanos, un man ir jāsaka, ka mēs šeit esam pilnīgi viensprātis gan attiecībā par tiem procesiem, kādus mēs gribētu redzēt Rietumbalkānos, gan arī, mēs pārunājām Eiropas Savienības austrumu partnerus, īpaši, sadarbība ar tādām valstīm kā Moldova un Gruzija. Runājām, protams, arī par attiecībām ar Krieviju. Un jāsaka, ka kopumā es gribētu teikt, ka mēs redzam lietas ļoti līdzīgi. Mēs neapšaubāmi vēlamies redzēt pēc iespējas integrētāku gan politiskā, gan ekonomiskā ziņā Eiropu. Mēs esam viensprātis, ka tās problēmas, tās lietas, kas šobrīd varbūt ir aktuāls, viņas ir jāpārvar un viņas tiks pārvarētas. Un arī, protams, runājam par to, ka mēs arī šajā situācijā, kādā šobrīd ir Eiropas Savienība, tomēr nevaram aizmirst gan mūsu austrumu partnerus, gan Eiropas Savienības paplašināšanu, un ka mums šeit ir aktīvi jāsadarbojās arī nākotnē. Un, protams, arī mēs pieskārāmies arī tādam nākamajam kalendāram. Jāsaka, ka mums vēl līdz gada beigām būs pietiekami daudz iespējas tikties dažādos formātos, gan Eiropas Savienības, gan Eiropas drošības un sadarbības organizācijas ietveros. Līdz ar ko gribētu teikt tā, ka kopumā šī vizīte bija tāda pirmām kārtām arī savā ziņā savstarpēju iepazīšanās vizīte, bet arī, iespēja vēlreiz iziet cauri visam gan bilaterālo, gan reģionālo attiecību spektram un konstatēt, ka mūsu abu valstu politiskā sadarbība ir izcila. Ar to es varbūt arī šo ievadu beigtu un aicinātu tad Bilta kungu.
Vārds Bilta kungam.
Thank you, and I will certainly agree with that. We have excellent and we have very intense relationship with very strong both political and economic links. We have been this year celebrating 20 years since the re-establishment of the independence of Latvia, but we've been very keen to use that as an opportunity primarily to look forward towards what we can do even more together in the years to come. We are together in the European Union, and of course we have been discussing, as was said, quite a number of the different issues that are on the agenda of the European Union as we meet more or less constantly in the different ministerial councils. Are you going to translate into Latvian, or? Or it's been provided, so I don't need to stop, I can continue. And there are, of course, quite a number of those. Eastern Partnership is something that is a very strong concern from Sweden as well as from Latvia. We have the issues of the enlargement that will be on the table of the next meeting that we're going to have in the next few days, where an open Europe is very important when it comes to the credibility. And those are some of the issues that I think are very high up on the common agenda. Then I'm always happy nowadays when I come to Riga and I notice that the big daily boat from Stockholm is down in the harbor. And I understand that that is a sign of rather rapid increase in the travel between Stockholm and Riga, development of both tourism and business. And that I think is most important and still has a lot of potential.
Paldies. Laiks jautājumiem. Lūgums stādīties priekšā, nosaukt mēdī vārdu uzvārdu un izmantot mikrofonus abās pusēs. Lūdzu.
Jautājums Bilda kungam, ziņa aģentūra BNS Māra Rozenberga. Kā jūs komentējat Finanšu kapitāla tirgus komisijas lūgumu Zviedrijas iestādēm palīdzēt atgūt iespējams līdzekļus Latvijas krājbankas lietā? Cik lielu palīdzību un kādu Zviedrija varētu sniegt un cik ilgā laikā? Paldies.
Well, I understand there will be a request, there has been a request by the relevant Latvian authorities to the relevant Swedish authorities, and I'm quite certain that they will work as intensely as they can to see what can be done. I'm not familiar with the details of it, neither should I be. Mr. Antonov has been figuring in the Swedish media, and there have been a lot of suspicions against him over the years. So from that point of view, I have to say that some of the things that I read in the media now is unfortunately not too surprising. But it does underline the need for us in our respective countries to strengthen the supervision of our financial systems, so as to be able to, as far as possible, to prevent things like this from happening.
Hello, my name is Jits Vikmanis. I'm from Daily Latvijas avīze. I would like to ask you mainly interests here on this visit. One of the issues were economic ties. Is this more common with banks? As we know, in Latvia there are many Swedish banks. But is there any other types of economical cooperation, such Swedish investments, such as well?
Well, I mean, no particular issue on this particular visit. I mean, you should see this visit just as another one of the very regular visits that we have. The only thing that is new with this particular visit is that there's a new government in Latvia. And although we meet, normally we meet quite a lot in connection with the different ministerial meetings that we had in Brussels. But I thought with the new government and the new minister, although we have known each other before in different capacities, I think it was important to come over here and just sit down for a couple of hours and go through all of the different issues. As to economic relationships, as I said, I think the fact that we now have rather intense traffic, both if you look at the passenger traffic by air between Stockholm and Riga, if you look at the passenger traffic by ship between Stockholm and Riga, is a sign of the fact that the economic relationship is going forward. I'm quite confident that there will be increased Swedish investments in Latvia in the years to come. These are somewhat difficult economic times, but I think everyone has been impressed by the way in which Latvia has come through a very demanding and very difficult economic and financial situation. And if you look at the growth figure of the Latvian economy today, they are among the best growth figures in Europe. And I'm quite certain that that over time will have its influence on investors as well.
Es tikai papildināšu to, ka mums tirzniecības apgrozījums ar Zviedriju ir tiešām audzis, un tā nav tikai tāda situācija, kur mēs redzam, ka mums šeit ir Zviedru bankas, bet jāsaka laikam, ka tieši ar Zviedriju mūsu tirzniecības bilants Latvijai pat ir pozitīva. Tā kā, teiksim, šīs ekonomiskās attiecības mums ir ļoti jāsaka plašas un neaprobežojas tikai ar finanšu sektoru.
Jā, lūdzu.
Two more questions, excuse me. The second one is about economical cooperation. Do you see some possibilities to cooperate in high-tech branches between Latvia and Sweden? As we know, Sweden is very developed in these issues.
Quite. Thank you. We are. I do see a potential for quite a lot if you look ahead. Without having anything specific in mind, because it doesn't come directly under me, but I do see the potential of there, and I do think there have been some Swedish investment in those areas, if I remember it rightly. We see quite a potential for production of high-tech goods from Swedish firms in the Baltic states. I mean, if you look at Estonia, we have very substantial production of products from Ericsson, to take only one example. That shows the potential of the Baltic states in the future in these areas as well.
Okay, and then I think the last question from me at the moment. Okay, about the energetics.
Yeah.
There were talks about this cable. Okay, the Finns have cable between the electricity cable between Helsinki and Tallinn, I think. Is there some possibility to make such connection between Latvia and Sweden? Because as I know, Latvia has only the possibility to gain electricity from Russia and from Lithuania.
Yes, we have that decision is already taken. I mean that project is underway, so that's a huge sort of it's in the range of billions of crowns anyhow. That particular project, and will be ready in. Sorry. Yeah, true. I mean it goes to, formally speaking, goes to Lithuania, but it goes to the Baltic countries.
Okay.
So what we have is the link that comes in and then integrates the three Baltic countries. Mm-hmm. So it will, together with, as you pointed out, the link from Finland, which goes into Estonia, both of these two links will, when completed, make it possible to first integrate the power markets between the three Baltic states, and then, even more important, integrate the Baltic markets with the Nordic markets. We have an integrated Nordic power market with a lot of sort of interconnectivity. And with these two very big interconnectors that are now going to be built, the Baltic countries will power-wise, over time, become part of an integrated Nordic-Baltic power market. That is one of the most significant long-term infrastructure integration enterprises that we have ongoing.
Tikai varbūt piebilst, ka mēs ceram, ka mēs integrēsimies un pievienosimies šīm tā saucamajiem Nordpoolam, ko minēja arī man Zviedrijas kolēģis 2012. gadā. Tā kā teiksim, tās tiešām ir praktiskas lietas, un praktiskā integrācija notiek neapšaubām, ka mums vēl ir jāstrādā kopā ar Lietuvu un Igauniju, lai izveidotu visaptverošu kopīgu enerģētisko politiku, enerģētikas tirgu un pakāpeniski pievienotos gan, teiksim, raugoties no tāda elektrības savienojuma, gan arī no gāzes savienojuma Eiropas Savienībai. Tas ir darbs, kas notiek, varbūt esat jau dzirdējuši, notiek diezgan karstās diskusijās, bet es esmu pilnīgi pārliecināts, ka mēs to paveiksim, gan ievērojot kopīgās, gan arī nacionālās intereses.
Alex Toppinch, Reuters news agency. A Swedish citizen was kidnapped in Bali last week. What's Sweden doing about, and is there more news as to who did it?
I have nothing further to add to that. That is now the subject of the Swedish police authorities, and they are dealing with the issue. So I would refer any further questions to them at this time. Well, the foreign ministry is helping the police. They need all the help they can get.
Mike Collier, Agence France Presse. Mr. Bildt, you said earlier on that we need more Europe and not more Europes.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on exactly what you meant? And is there a serious threat of twin-speed Europe emerging, do you feel?
Well, in some sense, you can say that you have a twin-speed Europe. You have the growing economies of Northern Europe and they have the deficit economies of Southern Europe. But that is the way it is at the moment. We are very much in favor of preserving the institutional architecture that is necessary for the integrity of the single market. So when I sort of had this sort of quip about not more Europes, that should be seen as a slight warning that we don't go into sort of institutional setups that over time might impair upon the integrity of the single market. The single market is one of the paramount achievements of Europe, and I think is absolutely critical to the long-term competitiveness of the European economy in a rapidly moving global economic environment. On the first, more Europe, of course, I mean, we see as well, we are not in the Eurozone, as you know, but we do see the need, that's a fairly obvious one, to strengthen the surveillance mechanism and the other mechanisms when it comes to economic management. I think some, you might say, and I should also say that the crisis has been caused to a very large extent by people not respecting the rules that are already there. So the number one thing that is necessary is for countries to respect the rules that they have already agreed to. That's the number one, and probably the number 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 as well. But the number 6 might well be that we also need to further augment those particular rules. But if they don't abide by the previous rules, it doesn't make much of a point to having new rules. So respect the rules, but then look if we don't need some augmentation of them as well.
Paldies. Vēl viens jautājums, lūdzu.
Jā, jautājums Rinkēviča kungam. Sakiet, kā jūs domājat, kā šī Krājbankas un Snoras lieta ietekmēs Latvijas-Lietuvas attiecības? Viens un otrs, vai pēc šī gadījuma Latvijai vajadzētu rūpīgāk izvērtēt Krievijas investīcijas Latvijā?
Es domāju, ka atbildot uz jūsu otro jautājumu, mums vajadzētu rūpīgi izvērtēt, cik nu mēs to varam, protams, jo tā tomēr ir zināmā mērā arī tirgus ekonomika, bet mums noteikti vajadzētu rūpīgi skatīties un vērtēt investīcijas, kuras mēs mēģinām piesaistīt, tas ir pilnīgi skaidrs, un es šeit negribētu nosaukt vienu īpašu valsti. Es domāju, ka ir jāskatās uz investīciju kvalitāti kopumā, jo tikpat labi mums var būt arī situācijas, kur no ļoti varbūt tādām respektablām valstīm tomēr var gadīties, teiksim, arī nepārāk godprātīgi investori un nepārāk godprātīgas darbības. Tas ir viens. Otrs, kas attiecās uz šo te vispārējo Latvijas-Lietuvas attiecību klimatu, tad es domāju, protams, ka mēs būtu vēlējušies labāku sadarbību dažādu iestāžu vidū un labāku informācijas apmaiņu pirms attiecīgie lēmumi tika pieņemti. Es domāju, tā ir arī laba mācība mums visiem, to, ka tajā, ka mums ir tomēr jāstrādā ciešāk ne tikai, teiksim, politiskā līmenī, ne tikai valdību līmenī, bet arī dažādu gan finanšu uzraugošo institūciju, gan tiesību aizsardzību institūciju līmenī jāapmainās labāk ar informāciju. Es domāju, tā ir viena laba mācība gan Latvijai, gan Lietuvai. Gan es gribētu teikt, ka pilnīgi noteikti arī citām reģionu valstīm tas varētu būt tāds labs pamats. Es gribētu cerēt, ka mūsu attiecības ar Lietuvu veidosies teiksim, normālā veidā, un es ceru, ka tie var būt jautājumi, kādi savstarpēji, te īpaši pagājušajā nedēļā varbūt aktualizējās vienā vai otrā jomā, ka mēs viņus atrisināsim. Bet pilnīgi noteikti mums ir jāmācās no katra tāda gadījuma, un mums ir jādara viss, lai nākotnē, teiksim, mūsu savstarpēju attiecību klimats veidotos konstruktīvs un pozitīvs. Un, kā jūs zināt, arī ministru prezidents Dombrovskis apmeklēs Lietuvu 2. decembrī. Es domāju, ka arī viss šis jautājums spektrs neapšaubām tiks pārunāts un teiksim, būsim tikuši skaidrībā, ko būs būt mācīties un kā būs būt veidot tālāk attiecības arī.
Pēdējais jautājums, Vikmīkungs. Judīte, es atvainojos. Iedosim iespēju.
Latvijas televīzija ziņu dienests Judīte Čunka. Jautājums premjeram ārlietu ministram Bildta kungam. Kāds jūsu padoms būtu Latvijai, kā uzmanīties turpmāk tieši saistībā, jums ir pieredze ar Sābu gadījumu, bija, kad Antonovs ļoti izmisīgi centās tikt klāt pie Sābu akcijām, un Zviedrija redzēja, un jums arī savu viedoklis par šo lietu bija. Kā varētu turpmāk kāds padoms, kā varbūt izvērtēt šīs Krievijas investīcijas? Jums tomēr zināmā mērā Zviedrijai pieredze ir bijusi.
Well, I mean, difficult to get into the sort of concrete issue, which I think should be investigated by the relevant authorities in the respective countries. But irrespectively of the nationality of the person involved, I mean, there are sort of persons with dubious record. I mean, you should also look at the track record of people that are active, and then you have to be cautious. But that is essentially a question of the surveillance mechanism that has to be there on the markets, and the cooperation that must be there when it also comes to looking at people who have a dubious or even a criminal record when it comes to financial dealings.
Vēl bija jautājumi.
As we look back in Latvian and Swedish cooperation, I think in 19 years there were some military cooperation between Latvia, such as Swedish military supplements for Latvian army. There were some talks about possibility that Sweden cooperates between NATO much more, and is there some possibility for Baltic airspace surveillance from Sweden as it NATO makes it? Okay, this is a theoretical question.
Well, there are true. I mean, we had a lot of discussion during the 90s in terms of military assistance of different sorts that we gave from Sweden to Latvia and others. There's less discussions about that nowadays because this is this is part of the normal procurement that you do, and but it was the question of the help that we were keen to give when it came to initially building up the sort of independent armed forces of Latvia and and Estonia and Lithuania. As it is today, from the Swedish side, we have a very sort of intense and close cooperation with NATO in different areas. The Swedish Air Force took part in the Libya operation. We provided nearly 40% of the photo reconnaissance missions over Libya, and that is only one of the signs we have of the close integration. We've not been involved in the discussions that are there on the Baltic air surveillance, which are primarily discussions now between, which I think are ongoing discussion, as I understand it, between the Baltic countries and NATO. We have, though, joined in whatever it's called, the common air surveillance system. So both Sweden and Finland are now part of that, which was not the case a couple of years ago.
Paldies ministra kungiem, paldies jums par izrādīto interesi un veiksmīgu vakaru.
Thank you.